stores. We can reach people at home that are the chief household officers. How do we know that? Because we keep track of the types of things they do during their day. We can reach them near C-stores, and then we can retarget any of the above. User comes onto their phone, opens up an app that happens to be location aware, and we look at all the advertisers that are running, and we find someone that may want a user that's in that particular location. And so that's our reason for being, and then we run the ad to that user, again, using a standard ad position on a mobile website, but most of the ads that we run end up in applications. Why? Because those are the ones that ask for your location and are location aware. So how do we do it? We do something that's pretty granular. And without getting into too much detail, we look at the US. We use something called the USGS grid, which is a scientific grid that's used by people that predict earthquakes, that look at forest fires, so they know exactly where things are going on in the world. So it's a pretty tight construct. And we look in those tiles and say, what's in those tiles? Is it a park? Is it a grocery store? Is it an auto dealership? And in this case, we've highlighted the grocery store, the auto dealership, and we know exactly where those things are in the planet. And then we allow, in this case, there's a small little arrow, if you can't see it, that goes from the auto dealership. Someone had been at the auto dealership, we can retarget them later at home. So that's the type of things we're doing. We've found 22,000 different car dealerships in the US. We know exactly where they are. We're retargeting people that go there all the time. And then there's lots of other types of targeting that we're doing, whether it's a foodie or white collar worker. These are all standard segments, and we take the world and say, where are those types of people? And it's important to note that even though we're really granular, we're in every DMA in the US, there's 1 billion tiles that we're looking at all day, every day in real time and serving ads into them across the US. These are some standard segments. We're big on demos, auto market, retail, so a number of different categories that marketers can take advantage of that's standard off-the-shelf type packaging. And then we get, again, really granular in the case of retail. This example here shows that we know exactly where a Kohl's is, we know where a Sears fits inside the mall in the bottom right, and then we can run ads in the Kohl's trying to get people to Sears, and we can run ads in households around them and various other targeting. So it's really granular, but it's also scaled, so it's kind of a conundrum. For a marketer like Wrigley's that's looking for people that are able to buy in grocery, we say that Walmart could be a target, Safeway could be a target, CVS Drugs. In general, we're mapping all those things and putting packages together, and then we go back out and find the people that have been in these places in areas around them. So again, this is kind of the thing for Wrigley where they could be bought. We aggregate this all up and do various forms of targeting. So in closing, we take advantage of existing audiences, we leverage in-store sales, we build custom audiences, and then we create a modified funnel where it's high level as well as very granular. And one of the things that we're trying to be a little bit disruptive about, and Steve, I'd love to get your thoughts and everyone at MediaPost, is that we're trying to say that we think that there's an opportunity to be always on in a lot of these locations. Much like search, if someone's in your store, if someone's at a competitive store, you don't necessarily want to waste the opportunity to put the right ad in front of them, just like you wouldn't want to waste the opportunity to have someone, to use a search term if someone typed in your favorite terms. So we're doing these things. We're trying to change the metric. We believe strongly that one of our KPIs that we have developed called place visit rate is the new click-through rate, so what we call PVR. Oops. Get on that. Thank you. And it essentially says we compare, if we ran ads, let's use Sears as an example, if we ran ads in the wild for Sears around Sears stores, we could tell how many devices actually showed up in the Sears store later on. We compare those with requests that we got where the people showed up in the store on a regular basis but they didn't see an ad, and we call that place visit rate, the delta between the people who saw ads and came to the store and the people who didn't. And you all have various pieces of literature, please take them with you, that describes this in great detail. But we think that's something that we're doing that is truly unique. And we're trying to convert the conversation from click-through rate to PVR. How many people got to the store versus how many people clicked on the ad. And then lastly, these are just a number of things beyond our current offerings. We're trying to go to digital out-of-home. We're trying to look at things like who visited what stores before they showed up in your store if you're a retailer. Doing a number of things here, all of which I think are pretty leading edge, and at some point soon we'll come forward with products around these. But in closing, you met me earlier wrapped in bacon. You met my wife wrapped in bacon. This little guy's going to look a lot like me because it's a chip off the old slab. My son, and in that closing, remember that we're PlaceIQ. We're all about taking location, turning it into audiences for you to use in mobile. Thanks.
Wow. And, not only do you take things and put them in mobile, and you also take content, like bacon, the comment. I just did one comment. And
the whole presentation was wrapped in bacon.
It was wrapped in bacon. That was one. That's amazing. That's similar to your technology in some way.
That's what I do.
Wow, that's really good. All right. Tony, do you have other people from your team here as well?
Yeah, Rob Sprungman is with me. Rob runs the Midwest region for us,
right.
Sales director. So please make sure that you grab either one of us.
Yeah, anybody have any questions? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of always weird to ask questions over breakfast, but if you have questions, please address these folks at some point. You'll be here for the duration?
We will be here the duration. Oh, and that reminds me, I heard that golf filled up. If there are two people that want to golf, Rob and I are playing the Straits course today.
Oh, look at that. The hand went right up.
We got 1-2. Okay, join us on the Straits.
Oh, Blue Cross Blue Shield wants to play the Straits. Look at this guy. Yeah, you might want to. Okay, all right, grab him. All right, good. And we're going to take 5 minutes, refresh your coffees, grab another slab of bacon.